Now, I get a lot of requests from people who wonder if I sell 12-inch wide vinyl. Most of these people use a small desktop size plotter, so they're limited to 12-inch wide vinyl. What they don't know is they're actually overpaying for less vinyl, or they're paying the same amount for less vinyl, so it is loss of money. Here we use 20-inch wides. Now, our machines run 20-inch wide vinyl, but a lot of my clients don't. They might have a small machine, a desktop size, and they're limited to less than 15 inches, which is about standard. 15 to 20 inches is standard industry size vinyl. Some are larger. Here we have it's 19 and a half, so they do call it a 20-inch. Now, there's a simple way to cut this into 12-inch wide sheets. So you'll actually be getting more material because you'll be cutting it, and you will have, in this case, 19 and a half by 12, as opposed to a 12 by 12 sheet, usually for the same price. It's fairly simple here. What I like to do is just open the vinyl. I'm gonna use this side so you can see the marks better. And it's very simple. So I take my ruler, yardstick, measuring tape, whatever it is, and I set it on the 12-inch mark right here. That's the 12-inch mark, give or take a 1/4 inch. And what I'll do is I'll just try to get it as straight as possible, and I'll put a dot or a small mark at the beginning of that ruler over there. And then I will just move this up a little bit, about 12 also. So put another line right here and move it up a little bit more. And since it's not cut straight here, that's actually a bad spot to work with. So I'm going to put it right here in the middle, and we'll get another 12-incher. So I have 1, 2, 3 dots right here. Now what I'll do is I'll turn my yardstick, ruler, or measuring tape, and I'll usually use the top of it. It's flat, to get it as flat as possible, and then I'll bring it over to these dots, and these dots will help the angle of the cut. So this will help me get a straighter line. It's probably not going to be laser straight unless you use a T-square. Not a lot of people have one laying around. We do, but I'm just going to use a ruler here for simplicity. And you can see the top of it is flat. The ruler is fairly straight. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line down this right here. Now what I'll do is I'm going to grab my blade or box cutter or other cutting utensil here. Since I'm cutting holographic vinyl, it's pretty thick, so my X-Acto knife won't cut through. Instead, I'm going to use a very sharp box cutter here. I'm just going to line the ruler on that line we drew, and then I'm going to expose the blade just a little bit. You don't want to cut your fingers or anything like that, so I'm just going to go ahead and slice it down this while holding the ruler. Now I have a 12 by 20 sheet, and since we cut that here, we're going to be left with a straight line, so that'll help my next cut. We're going to do another cut here, just at a different angle. We have a very straight line going, so we're just going to release some of this vinyl, and again, depending on your machine, which is probably 12 inches. Now you can do a lesser, 10 inch, 12 inch, etc. Here I'll do a 10-inch sheet for you. So we're gonna put the number 10 on the straight edge right here, and then we're gonna mark it. Put a dot. Again, we're gonna put it on the 10-inch mark right here, and get another dot. And we'll do one more. This will help center it. We have 3 dots. We're going to align this top of the edge of the ruler here. And we're going to align it with the 3 dots. I'm just going to go ahead and run a line. Straight line down. And we do have a very straight 10-inch by 19.5-inch sheet here. So I'm going to line my ruler up to this line I just drew. Expose my blade a little bit. Watch your fingers. press down and just move slow while holding the ruler down tightly. And there you go. We now have our 10-inch by almost 20-inch sheet of holographic vinyl. When broken down, this actually is almost the same price as a 10 by 10 sheet, for example, or 10 by 12 sheet, and we'll be getting an additional 8 inches. Now, when you add that up to your entire order or to multiple jobs, it really equals more profit and less waste. And more profit and less waste is a win-win situation. So it's very easy. Do not be discouraged in buying 20-inch wide vinyl. I actually recommend you buy 20-inch vinyl. It's same price as the 12-inch vinyl, or maybe cheaper because it is an industry standard. Now, another thing you can do here is you can always measure your roll, mark it at where you would like to cut it, and if you do a straight enough line or a tape or rubber band or something, you can actually get a saw and you can just saw it down here if you have power tools. Not a lot of people do, but that is possible. It's a special blade, and it's that's how really they cut these from the factory, because they make them in like 36 or 48 or whatever, very large, and then they just chop them. So don't be discouraged. Get you some 20-yard vinyl. The options are endless. You'll have different colors, different styles, different textures such as flock, reflective, and other colors. And you'll also save money. So it's very easy. Now, a lot of my clients have small inkjet printers, and they cannot use an 11 by 17 or a tabloid size transfer sheet. They're limited to a letter size or an 8.5 by 11. Usually these 11 by 17 sheets are cheaper than an 8.5 by 11. So if you were to cut this sheet into two 8.5 by 11s, you would actually be saving money. And if you have a tabloid or larger printer, you should probably stock these and cut them down and use both, so you can use the same paper for both sizes. Here I'm going to show you a real easy way to cut this sheet in half. Now, you can always just fold it, crease it, and cut it. Or if it's too thick or you're scared to do that, here's an easy way. I would grab an 8.5 by 11 letter size sheet. A regular piece of paper for the printer is standard sizing. And we're going to align the edges right here. We're going to align the top edges so you can see. We're going to go ahead and align it as best as possible. And what we'll do is we'll just put a small mark on the center of that. Now, if this was an inkjet transfer, this is not, this is a regular paper. Now, if this was an inkjet transfer, I would recommend you do this on the back side, the non-printable side of the sheet. So you just align your edges and you take a pen or a marker or whatever you'd like and just put a mark. Just a couple marks right here. We can remove that. And you can see we have a couple marks down the sheet, very light marks. We can get our ruler here. We can align it to these edges. And we can just cut down that line. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna have to do it on this side. Here, we'll rotate like this. That'll probably be better for you. I'm gonna line the ruler up to those lines. And then we're just gonna grab our knife, blade, X-Acto knife, whatever you like, and just press down, and in one smooth motion, cut this. You want one smooth motion. If you do multiple cuts, you will have little hairs and fibers sticking out, and you'll probably jam in your printer. So you can see here, we split this. We split this 11 by 17 into two 8.5 by 11 sheets. You can see they're pretty accurate here. When I line up the edges, it's probably a millimeter off, but it's not gonna matter. So what you get here is, for example, if this sheet was $1, you would get this whole sheet for $1.50. So when you split it, that's only 75 cents a piece, 25 cents off each sheet, times 100 sheets, that's $25. And it's very easy, and you take these and you can just align them all together here. And then you can store them or you can print on them and you can use them immediately. Very easy, save some money.